What is up, everybody? I'm No Lex Given, and today we're going to take a look at DUPERY, a single-player social deduction game. I've heard them referred to as anti-social deduction games. It's a logic puzzle game where we've got to figure out the good guys and the bad guys, and I'm going to take my first look at it here live with you all now, going in totally blind, but I have heard that some fans of my Demon Bluff content have enjoyed this game and have been asking me to play it, so without further ado, let's hop into a new game of DUPERY. Crime never sleeps, so I guess I won't either. Yeah, this is the voice. So I guess I won't either. Not while the syndicate continues to spread. But this guy doesn't look that grizzled. This guy's maybe a little bit younger. I've got work to do. Yeah, maybe it's more that. More yearning, potentially. Welcome back, Detective. As you may have heard, the city is rampant with crime. The syndicate's roots have grown ever more expansive, and corruption festers like never before. I fear that if we don't act now, we won't have another chance. I must say, you've been out of the game a while. Let me catch you up to speed. On the left, you can see the number of innocent, meddler, underlings, and traitor roles you can expect to see on the board. That much is fairly similar to Blood on the Clock Tower and Demon Bluff. Blood on the Clock Tower being the game that Demon Bluff also is inspired from. So we are looking at townsfolk, outcasts, minions, and demons, just with slightly different themes here. Innocent and meddler roles are good. Underling and traitor roles are evil. All evil must be arrested before you can move on to your next case. And of course, we don't want to arrest good people. You know, if we have to kill some good people in the name of demons, so be it, but I'd really rather not arrest innocent townspeople just for the crimes of these mobsters here. On the right, you can find the suspect list, which includes all the roles that can be found in this case. We'll call these the suspected roles. Roles can only appear once on the board, however, certain roles may hide their true identity and pretend to be other roles. You can hover over a suspect to get a description of what each role does. The priest is an innocent. I announce I am the priest. When I'm lying or tainted, I will announce something else. So this is going to be the confessor from Demon Bluff. We also have the mobster, which is a liar that pretends to be an in-play role. Oh, an in-play role. Okay, because this is an underling, they will be double claiming. So on this first board, we're going to knock on two doors, it looks like here, and one of them is going to say, hey, I'm a priest. The other one's going to say, I'm a goldfish, or something like that. That's enough dilly-daddling. There's work dilly-dallying. There's work to be done. These details are very important, as I've learned from my Blood on the Clock Tower content. Don't want to mix up dilly-daddling and dilly-dallying. Start by investigating one of the homes on the board. Hold on a house to reveal who lives there. I am the priest. I am a goldfish. I am the copycat. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't that far off. To say goldfish and then be given a different animal, the copycat makes a little more sense. One of them must be the mobster pretending to be the priest. Luckily for us, the mobster is a liar, meaning the information that they give will be false, and we can hold down our mouse button here to arrest the mobster. Case solved in 5 hours. I don't know if that means it took me 5 minutes, but we're definitely getting through the tutorial slowly here. We can reveal all, and yeah, we're just getting that. Oh, and there's a little bit of, hold on, if we go back here, there's a little bit of like a score. So as you potentially arrest the wrong things, you go down in the standing of the citizens. Okay, yeah, that's definitely some pressure there. And then, oh, we also have some tools. Nice. We can put that back. We can pick up an eraser. I don't know what this will do. Oh, okay, so this is like we can mark this and Can I touch this? No. Okay, let's move on and see what other things we can learn here. Here's your new case. Detect who's been drawing everywhere. Okay, so you better clean up before you start. I guess this is just showing us how to use these tools here. Okay, fair enough. I don't think I have to erase all of this. Probably not. Okay. Crime scene. I don't know what that means. And then we have 5 things that we have to flip up. 3 of them will be innocent and 2 will be underlings. I'm not sure if I want to learn about these roles before I just flip things over. Let's take a look at these evil roles though. The mobster will lie and pretend to be an in-play role. So when we see a double claim, we know that one of them is the mobster. The specter says, I obscure one non-meddler. So I think that they are specifically saying that they obscure an innocent, but it's not clear if they can obscure a mobster, potentially. But I think they're saying they obscure one innocent role, hiding its name, appearance, and information. Oh, maybe this is like a witch, sort of. Numbers are not obscured. And I lie and pretend to be a suspected role. Okay, all of these are suspects, so the specter will lie and pretend to be just something else, at least for now. The reporter is 2 steps away from closest evil. Now, I don't know what a step is. Is a step wham bam? Or would a step be like wham? Probably not wham bam, right? Probably it just means 2 orthogonal movements away. And that could be the mailman in door 1, or it could be the therapist behind door 4. I have 3 evil clients. I announce how many of my adjacent neighbors are evil. Well, I do not believe you. This is bad. I don't know how else to mark them. But we'll do that for now. We'll just scribble on them. This is obviously terrible. Oh, maybe there's like buttons we can press. Okay, not yet. Oh, and the clock is ticking. 6 hours have passed. We've been on the case. All right, well, we're messing around here a little bit. That is fine. I'm going to get these off so that way we can at least read all of the text that's on the screen. The priest lives in town. I've never heard of the therapist. Okay. But the mailman could be lying and the therapist could just be corrupted by the specter? No, I don't think that's how the specter works. I think the specter's going to make it so that, like, we can't flip something. This has been specter corrupted. The therapist is obviously just a liar. So let's lock him up. That is the specter. Can I now reveal this information? No. But we know that this information comes from a good person. We know that this information comes from a good person because they said that the therapist was wrong. And we know that this reporter is also correct because they were pointing at the specter. So even without reading this reporter, which says they're 2 away from the closest evil and is actually our mobster double claiming, but before we even read it, we could have known that was the case. Okay, speaking of, I guess now we are on to our next case. And this has 3 innocents and 1 underling, the mobster, which lies and pretends to be an in-play role. Detective, do you see the blue hand symbol? It means they can help us. I think that means that they have an ability which we can still use. This is the tailor, and if I had to take a guess from playing Blood on the Clock Tower, the tailor is going to allow us to pick 2 other characters and let us know if those 2 characters are on the same team or not. Let's take a look. Pick 2 roles. I announce if they are the same alignment. I think it means pick two doors. That's what I'm going to guess, because that's what that character does in Blood on the Clock Tower. The tailor lives in town. I've never heard of the mathematician, which means that the mailman... Oh, there is no mathematician. 2 tailors. One of them must be the mobster. Their ability will still work, but the information that they give will be incorrect. So, all that we need to do is use 1 tailor and select these two, they tell us that these two roles are not of the same alignment. However, we know that both of these two are the goodies because one of these two has to be the mobster. If we use this tailor and take a look at these two, then we're going to say that they're the same alignment. This tailor is actually the mobster and is lying. Easy enough, easy enough. We're in the tutorial section of the game still, and we'll slowly learn all of these things and kind of pick it up, but we're definitely still getting tutorialized. This new case of yours is not an easy one. It has a traitor and a meddler in it. So the meddlers are good, if you can believe that, but they have abilities that will kind of detract from our ability to solve, and the critic will just be pure evil and have a more powerful role than some of the underlings. The critic says you lose twice as much reputation as normal. Others treat your reputation status as poor. Okay, we haven't really figured out the reputation mechanic in the game. But we learn twice as much reputation as normal. Do we lose reputation just by asking people questions? No. Oh, we lose time by asking people questions. Oh, I thought this was like a real-time clock, but no, this is kind of like your score. Okay, Weatherman, the forecast today. Number 2, number 4, number 6. I announced 3 addresses. 1 address leads to an innocent, 1 to a meddler, and 1 to an underling or traitor. Let's click and find more information. Okay, sounds good. So between, let's pick this pen up, between 2, 4, and 6, we would expect to find our surgeon and the evil, or potentially this weatherman is simply lying. What does the surgeon do? On the 12th hour, I might kill an innocent role if possible. The 12th hour. Okay, that feels like it's not happening until fairly late in the game. But here's what I think we do. We flip over this, we find the priest. It says they don't feel so good. Not sure about that one. We flip over this, which says they're the priest, and I actually do feel good about this one. Let's make that a check mark. These are horrible drawings, and this should be the surgeon. That is the surgeon. So this weatherman is definitely good. I wonder, oh, can I dip my ink? No. There must be a way to change what color your pen is, though, right? Oh, press. I just saw that up there. Press your scroll wheel to change color. Cool, cool. All right, I think that this is innocent. I think that this is obviously the surgeon, and I think that this is a baddie. Let's just lock her up here. And that does make some time pass. We find a vigilante, and the vigilante says pick a role. If the selected role is evil, I kill them. Otherwise, nothing happens. Okay. Case solved in 11 hours. Surgeon did not have to make a mistake. We just got all the baddies dead. If the vigilante failed to kill behind door 1, then the vigilante would have been the bad guy. Now we have 4 innocents and 1 underling, but that underling is going to be a poisoner. The poisoners are tricky. They will taint an adjacent role. So if we have 2 informations that are awkward next to each other, we actually have a tainted good person. Oh, and there's 2 potential, opportunities, because it could be 4 and 5, 2 and 3, 2 and 1. Let's take a look here. Bloodhound points north. Bloodhound says, I announce the direction of the nearest evil roll from me that is in my column or row. Okay, and if there's no evil, I sniff. So either 1 is evil, or 5 is the evil poisoner. Huh. Let's flip over 3, because 3 is always good. 3 says they have 0 evil clients. Yeah, I believe that. Now, this information could be tainted by the poisoner. The fact that this information is not tainted means that this is not the poisoner, and this is not the poisoner, because both of these two are telling the truth. So, this bloodhound is lying. The question is this bloodhound poisoned or tainted, or is this bloodhound simply the poisoner? Let's flip over this, and they're saying that the poisoner is real, but that they've never heard of the reporter. And what is this going to be? The reporter? I am 1 step away from the closest evil. Huh. Does the poisoner always have to poison? Huh. So, this seems to be telling the truth. No, wait. No, this is lying. Sorry. But why are they saying the poisoner lives in town? Let me check out the mailman. I announce 1 in-play role and 1 not in-play role, specifying which is which. Okay. Well, maybe this gets a little bit trickier than Demon Bluff, because maybe they are allowed to say things that seem like partially true, or maybe it's just that the poisoner isn't really an in-play role. But I'm not sure if there's a way to satisfy this 50-50 other than the reporter saying 1 step away from the closest evil. Would this be 1 step? I think it has to be 1 step. And the fact that the priest is saying that they're the priest means this can't be the poisoner, so I guess this has to be the poisoner, and this is tainted. So that's what I'm going to go by. No. Huh. Let me read this again. I taint a random surrounding neighbor. But if the priest is tainted, they will say something else. So this is not tainted. Why is the reporter saying 1 step away? I was thinking like, oh, could this be corrupted? And this is the poisoner, but I don't think that that's how it works. I think that this poisoner, this priest always has to be the priest and not corrupted. I don't fully get it, but I'm going to try to arrest the mailman. Okay, that was also wrong. So is it just that the reporter is wrong and chose not to poison anyone? Maybe they tried to poison this slot? Maybe that's what happened. Oh, interesting. Okay, let's go back and reveal all. I tainted number 2. I pretended to be a reporter. But you did not. You did not do that. Still some mysteries here, I think. When lying or tainted, I will announce something else. Did they say something slightly different? Oh, goodness gracious. They said, I am the prayest. I am the priest. Not the priest. Lowercase p, and they spelled it wrong. All right. Okay, we're gonna play dirty. Fair enough. I see what you're up to here. Another day, another case, right, Detective? Once again, the Syndicate has given us a challenge. Have a look at the Barkeep. Their special is they will transform an innocent role into the drunkard. Not only is this very irresponsible, but it also messes with our reports. The ratio on the left can be outdated when these transformations occur. This is a pretty evil heavy board, so normally we should have 4 and 3. However, the Barkeep transforms an innocent role into the drunkard, which we all know what the drunkard's going to do by now. They are going to lie and pretend to be a good, not in play character, and the Barkeep will also be lying. The mobster will double claim, and the Barkeep doesn't necessarily have to double claim, it looks like. And the scoundrel says, I cannot die or be arrested unless I am the last evil. Ooh. Huh. I wonder how that will work. Okay, well, does the Barkeep transform an adjacent? It does not, so just anything can transform into the drunkard. And here's kind of how we have to play it, I think. This is kind of going to be the first real logic puzzle of it all. The last one was definitely a logic puzzle. It was also kind of like a... It was a cheap trick. It was a cheap trick, let's be honest here. But in this puzzle, we are going to have 7 pieces of information. 4 of those pieces of information are going to be incorrect. So we're going to have to try to figure out what makes sense given that. First, we have the therapist, which says that they have 3 evil clients. I'm not sure if they can have 3 evil clients. Yeah, because they only have 2 neighbors. So I'm going to mark this as wrong. And then we're going to get to this. The Bloodhound points west, north, east, southwest. Bloodhound I like. Now it could be that this is the drunk and the Bloodhound is lying. So I'm not going to arrest them just yet. Mathematician, this is a new role for me. I announce the sum of all evil role addresses. And they have calculated the number 7, which seems impossible. It's just too low. It is simply too low. The only way that would work is 1, 2, 4. I love that we're getting some math in our logic puzzle game, but the math ain't mathin' right here. So we are going to mark that on the mathematician, and it won't really tell us much. It'll just tell us that there's not exactly 2. Now we have a therapist, and that probably means that this therapist is the mobster, and that would make this the potential scoundrel, because we already have 2 evil clients for the therapist, meaning both of these 2 would have to be good, and this would have to be our remaining evil. Let's see if we can do a little bit of a score attack here and solve this one with only 10 hours past. Oh, that's the drunkard. Oh, okay. Well, that is going to, I forgot about the drunkard. That is going to mess up some of my therapist stuff. That means that actually between 3 and 7, one of them has to be evil, but it does still mean that 6 is evil. That's the Barkeep. Now we have to find the scoundrel. And I could have flipped the Barkeep still just to find out their information. Let's see what this Taylor says on these 2. The same alignment. All right, then I'm going to arrest number 7 as well. That's the scoundrel. And we can continue on. Another poisoner in these parts. The Syndicate is really relentless. We also have a bounty hunter. And a lying role is not evil. And an evil role is not always lying. Uh-oh. Okay. That's new. The con man. I pretend to be an in-play role. When I'm arrested, I am not revealed. Huh. Interesting. What do they mean? And evil is not always lying. I pretend to be an in-play role and I don't lie. Oh gosh, the con man's tricky. The con man's tricky as heck here. I pick and taint an innocent role. I announce 3 addresses, one of which belongs to my target. Okay, all right. Bounty hunter's tricky. We've got the therapist, and we also have a really interesting alignment here where, like, the poisoner, this could be the poisoner, and then any of these could be poisoned. But yeah, the poisoner makes for a pretty interesting board here. Reporter 3 steps away from the closest evil. Here's what I'll say. So far, that's wrong and that's wrong. So maybe we can find something correct soon. The Bloodhound points south. That sounds like a secret code word that you'd tell your friends to say when your kids, okay, if you get in trouble, if somebody comes, say the Bloodhound points south. And the mathematician calculates the number 8. That could be 3 plus 5, and honestly, I like it. However, the con man wouldn't be lying. So we need to figure out what is in the bounty hunter information. Okay, we also have the mathematician. Sorry, we have the bounty hunter. Bounty hunter has to be this one. My targets are 2, 3, 4. Okay. But the mathematician calculating the number 8, does that mean that both of these mathematicians are, like, one is a real mathematician and one is a con man? Well, how do we ever sort that out? I think that this is bounty hunter corrupted. One of these two is the poisoner. And one of these two is the con man. But I'm not sure how to, how to distinguish between any of these things. The Bloodhound is simply pointing south. I feel like that makes the Bloodhound the poisoned one. Yes. Yeah, okay, the Bloodhound has to be the poisoned one, I think. Because if the Bloodhound was evil, I mean, it could still certainly point south. But that's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to say this is the poisoner. Oof. Okay. And we don't learn if they're corrupted or not. 1, 2, but they can't be 3 steps away. So this has to be the poisoner, right? Okay. This is the poisoner. They corrupted the reporter. And now we have to arrest both of these because one of these two is the con man. Whew, okay. Wasn't sure if I had solved it or messed it up there, but we did ultimately get both of the baddies. A lot of 50-50s, but you also have a little bit more health than in Demon Bluff. So that's interesting. Detective, you may have noticed throughout your cases, each time you investigate or arrest a role, time moves forward. And here we have the surgeon. Investigating a role takes 2 hours, while arresting only takes 1 hour. Abilities do not take any time to use. Up until now, it hasn't been very important, but I must warn you. In many neighborhoods, there's still danger lurking. Roles might change the state of the board as time progresses. Sometimes it's best to arrest quickly. Plus, we're not paying you overtime. Cute. All right. Why does this say clock tower? Clockmaker. I announce at what time the clock tower will ring. I had a clock tower on the board When I am suspected. Okay. So at some point we will learn at what time the clock tower rings. And can we skip it by accident? I'm not sure. We also have the mobster in a double claim, and we have the milkman, which is after the 24th hour, I become evil without others noticing. Okay, they just become evil after the 24th hour. Surgeon is our first reveal. Not great. Bloodhound means no evils in any direction, and that's correct. All we have is just some blank stuff around them. The clockmaker says the clock will ring from 6 to 7. I think that's how they make it so that either one you're going to work on. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know, but I went right from 6 to 8. It didn't make anything. Ooh, the clock tower will ring from 10 to 11. This clockmaker was wrong. I'm going to arrest them. That's the mobster. Case solved. Okay, don't lie about being a clockmaker. That's way too easy to prove. Detective, this case might cause you some trouble. As you can see, a con man is in play. The con man can make you question your sanity. They are evil, but do not lie. Dastardly. Remember, an evil role is not always lying. I've calculated the number 8. The only way to get to the number 8 without including the mathematician would be 3 plus 5. It can't be 2 plus 6. Oh, unless you're a con man. Oh. Okay. Oh, that's funny. All right. But I know 1 and 4 are good, so I'm going to look for a vigilante. I've also calculated the number 8. But now we know that this is the con man. Oh, but there's also the copycat pretending to be a good in-play role. So either both of these are copycats or this one is the con man. This one can't be the con man because they can't just be both of the evils. 4 plus 4. Let's flip over 1 and we're going to see 1 evil client. That tells me nothing. I already knew it was between 3 and 2 there, but never both. Okay. Therapist, I have 3 evil clients. I think you have just sold out your team. I do believe here that it has to be the therapist is the mobster and the mathematician in door 2 is our con man. I like having some math and stuff involved, and it looks like we may have just completed the tutorial. Crime never sleeps, so I guess I won't either. Not while the syndicate continues to spread. I've got work to do. And oh, the game is starting. We finished the tutorial and the game is starting, and now we are going to get into some roguelike elements. So in order to track down the entirety of the syndicate, we have to complete this to 100%, I suppose. I don't know. This is a blind look here at this game, and don't know exactly what we're getting into, but Unsolve +1 reputation, +1/+1. So that is really tricky. It looks like your health will actually be cumulative over time, which is what reputation implies, right? We also have percentages that these will gain. So it tells you a little bit about what each case might contain. I like this. I like this setup a lot. You get a little bit of information and you get to choose, like, okay, do I want to go for 23? Do I want to go for 19? No meddler. I don't really know what a meddler does. There's a tailor. There's a priest suspected, and there's a weatherman suspected. That's really interesting information. So is it like already telling us a potential like double claim or something? I mean, priest-suspected is super easy, right? Let's take a look. I think it's just giving us that there's one role that we know. Like, it's just giving you a little preview by telling you one role that you're about to see on the suspect list. So here we have the priest. We've got 412. And we've got a mobster and a specter. The specter obscure. I remember the mobster. They double claim someone. The specter obscures one non-meddler, hiding its name. Oh, right. It just like blacks it all out. Okay, and then we either have a copycat or a fall guy. Other roles consider me as an evil underling, but other roles cannot pretend to be me. I lie and pretend to be a suspected role. All right, we're gonna have to start flipping here. Bloodhound points north. Oops. I do not like you, Bloodhound. Why is the Bloodhound wrong? I think the Bloodhound... I mean, without reading all of these other roles that I haven't seen before, I think that the Bloodhound is just evil. Okay, that's our mobster, which means when we find another Bloodhound, we can trust them. Probably. It's probably how that works. And, oops, I almost just arrested that person by holding the wrong thing. The skeptic says that 2 is good. I announce 1 address and its alignment. If your reputation status is poor, I lose faith in you. Oh, I gotta find out more information. What does that mean? I lose faith in you. Does that mean that, like, the skeptic won't help you if you have poor reputation? Oh no. Doesn't really tell me there, but that's cool. Reporter says I am 3 steps away from the closest evil. So 1, 2, 3 seems to check out. 1, 2, 3. It probably just means, what does the fall guy do again? Other roles consider me as an evil underling. Oh, this is the wretch. This is going to be face up, the fall guy. I love 7. I pick an innocent partner. I announce their address. I'm adjacent to my innocent partner. Okay. Here's the Bloodhound pointing north. That checks out to me. Oh, but hold on. Would this also happen to be a Bloodhound? No. This is a skeptic. Okay. The skeptic is saying 3 is evil. And this skeptic is saying 2 is good, which means I think that between these skeptics, we have our copycat. And I think that that means that they're both good. But why is this Bloodhound pointing north? Can the specter obscure itself? Huh. I think the specter has obscured itself. I apologize. I just now realized I have been blocking the information pop-ups. Hopefully that has not been too big of a deal up until this point. I've made myself a little bit smaller. Let's take off the dang fedora, huh? I am thinking that the specter has obscured themselves because the Bloodhound should be in a double claim with the mobster. So I'm going to say that this is our specter, and that's what it is. Cool. So now we have 23% completion. We have excellent reputation because we did not make a mistake on that one. Cool. Okay. And now we can snag 22, 20, or 20. This has, and it tells you how many addresses are in this town. But there's normal and there's hard. I think I'd like to potentially stick to a normal, and I like copycat. It says that there's a meddler in the town. Okay, and we might have a copycat, but it told us we would. Well, I guess we'll find out soon enough if we have a fall guy or not, right? First, we have a skeptic telling us that number 2 is good. So I guess I'll go there. That is the wife. The wife loves number 7, but the wife is supposed to point to an adjacent address. Huh. I don't trust any of this lot right now. Let's take a look at these. I am surrounding... Okay. I am surrounding the wife's partner. Unless the wife is lying or tainted. I make the wife jealous. Where's the wife? Where's jealous? When lying or tainted, I pick an underling role partner instead, and I may not be adjacent to them. Okay. It feels like this wife just outed number 7. So I'm going to arrest number 7. That's the barkeep. I'm not totally sure what happened there. That also means we have a drunk, so the wife could be drunk. The skeptic is pointing at the wife. The wife this could just be the evil team. There's 3 underlings we have to find. 1 is evil, says this skeptic. Okay, it's not just going to be as simple as 2 and 8 being the evil team. The priest saying, I am the priest. Double checking that. Looks correct. I'm going to make myself bigger again. I think it'll be fine. I felt more just... I don't know. This just feels right. The Bloodhound points east. But the Bloodhound should point to the closest, should they not? I announce the direction of the nearest evil roll for me that is in my column or row. So the Bloodhound is basically just saying, no, it's this skeptic that's evil, not this that the skeptic is pointing at. So these 2 are on opposite teams, and I will also say these 2 are on the same team. These 2 also kind of seem to be on the same team. And we also do have a drunkard. And, oh, here's something else we can do. Well, I can't draw a line through everything. The mistress lives in town. I've never heard of the skeptic. We have 2 skeptics. I don't trust that information. Let's get that out of here. 1, 6, and 8. Okay. Well, oh no, 1, 6, and 10. 1, 6, and 10. We also need to find our copycat. Bloodhound points north. Both Bloodhounds pointing at this skeptic. I lie and pretend to be a suspected role. I am surrounding the wife's partner, unless the wife is lying or tainted. It seems like the wife is tainted. So this mistress could be anywhere. I make the wife jealous. I lie and pretend to be a suspected role. I have not found anything spectered yet, so I suppose this will be spectered. No reason not to flip it over, but we have to figure out where our copycats are. Our copycats are either both of these 2 skeptics, and then both of these Bloodhounds are wrong. Now, could it be that one of these Bloodhounds is evil and the other Bloodhound is a drunkard? It's possible. But I'm going to start with arresting on this skeptic because both Bloodhounds are pointing towards it. Now, that doesn't let me reveal this in any capacity. Yeah, it doesn't. Why is this mailman never heard of the skeptic? Well, the mailman could be right if this is the drunkard and this is the mistress. That is very possible. That would make the mailman correct. The other option is this mailman is evil. The wife is the drunkard, and this skeptic is actually good. So I think it's just a 50-50 between the wife and the mailman here. And can we solve it with the weatherman, actually? 1, 6, and 10. Huh. Oh, that's interesting. Between 1, 6, and 10, we need to have... Oh no, okay, I've actually solved that, sorry. This is our copycat, and this is our evil. That just means 1 is good, and the weatherman's info checks out. Okay, I think it's just a 50-50 between the mailman and the wife. The specter was double claiming the drunkard. Let's take a look at what the specter does. I lie and pretend to be a suspected role. I should have questioned this barkeep. I don't think there's any way for me to see their information now. I just immediately arrested them because they weren't next to their wife. But I don't think I'm going to... I mean, the mistress pretending to be the wife makes a lot of sense to me, too. Let's arrest the wife. That was the mistress. Okay. I'm not exactly sure if, we're supposed to make that conclusion, but was able to do that. And I do think... Basically means you have to play 5... cases in order to complete this thing. I'm just looking at the runtime for the video, and I did see on the main menu screen that there was a continue button. So I think what we will do, this is cool, this is a neat take on the anti-social deduction genre, and I think in the next video we will continue where we left off. But for now, I'm going to call it there. This has been my first look at DUPERY. I will leave a link in the video description if you want to check it out. This is currently a free demo on Steam, and there's also a Discord where you can find more information on the game. I know they just updated it recently. I'm just kind of getting into it here, and we'll see all of the different things that this has to offer over time. But for today, that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm No Lux Given. Peace.